the number that jumps off the stat sheet is Penn State rushes for 204 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. You tell me that going into this game, and I'm taking out a mortgage on Penn State to win. Right? I put everything I've ever seen on Penn State to win that game. Until you show me that Drew Aller went 12 of 23 with 100 yards, no touchdowns, and interceptions. So I think Drew Aller's lack of ability to finish that game and just not make mistakes and lose it is what lost Penn State the game in the second half. I think really the glaring error in this game is Penn State not going to overtime when they got the ball back with a tie game with 38 seconds left. The way Penn State was running the football, to not go to OT and try to win there is absurd to me. You get the ball at your own 25. If you're Penn State, in that situation, Penn State gets the ball at their own 25. There's 38 seconds left. And their wide receivers cannot get open. And you're attacking a Notre Dame secondary. That's the strength of their team. And ultimately, you put your quarterback in a really tough situation where he's trying to make a play and go win a game without receivers that can win one-on-one. And what Penn State should have done is take that game to overtime, restart the game, and that's where Penn State can run the football. They can use their 12 personnel. They can go play action. They can put their 2 or 3 tight ends in the game. PSU is set up to win in overtime like that, the way they're handling line of scrimmage. And I think that the fact that they tried to win that game there and tried to score with 30-some seconds left is, Drew Aller made a mistake you can't make. You can't throw late across the middle. It can never happen. But I think they put him in a bad spot. And ultimately, he doesn't have receivers that are good enough, which is a whole other conversation, to win in that situation. So I think that was kind of a hindsight 2020 thing to look back on. But even in the moment, I was thinking to myself, I don't like Penn State trying to score here, because you make one mistake, they're in field goal range, and that's what happened. Notre Dame picked it off and kicked the field goal to win the game.
Yeah, it's a smart point by you, Adam, because it also, think about just flipping the field. If you just wait to go to overtime, you flip the field, you get the ball at the 25-yard line going in. So now all of a sudden, all you have to do is run, and there was no gas left in a depleted defensive line for Notre Dame anyway, right? Like Notre Dame's defensive line was getting gouged.
It felt like the momentum shift for Notre Dame came at a point when I thought Notre Dame was going to get completely buried. And it was when the left tackle was out, the right guard was out, and when Riley Leonard was out, and Steve Angeli gets sacked and fumbles on first down. And then Notre Dame comes up with the football. I don't know what kind of Houdini kind of magic work happened in that dog pile. I walked away. I turned away from the TV because I thought that Penn State recovered the football. It looked like they had recovered the football. I don't know if someone just gouged his eyes out in the dog pile and snatched the ball from him. Like, that's what it felt like. But Notre Dame being able to recover that fumble, kick a field goal before half, that was where the momentum shift came.
And Abdul Carter jumped on that football and then somehow didn't come away with it. I mean, I couldn't believe that. That probably would have been the end of the game. Penn State would have won if they recovered that fumble. My kind of one more point I want to make about this game. I've seen so much talk about Drew Aller and how bad Drew Aller played in this game. And listen, although the numbers for Drew Aller were brutal, and obviously the interception to give Notre Dame the win is inexcusable, but I can't put this game all on Drew Aller. The only true error that Drew Aller really made in this game was throwing the ball late across the middle, across his body, setting up that Notre Dame field goal. Critical error by a quarterback. But other than that, Penn State just couldn't find that big play in the passing game, and a lot of that is because of, I'll put more blame on Andy Kotelnicki, their offensive coordinator, and their wide receiver room. This is a far deeper issue for Penn State offensively than it is on their quarterback. Penn State did not have one wide receiver catch a pass in this game. Not one wideout called a pass. All tight ends and running backs. Zero separation all night. Absolutely got swallowed up by the Notre Dame secondary. When you look at a third down play and you have Penn State's wide receivers out wide, there's not one of them that you look at and are like, oh, this guy's a threat. This guy may get open right now. I mean, it's quite frankly inexcusable for Penn State. And I think James Franklin would say the same thing. Notre Dame also, on top of that, has similar, if not worse, talent at wide receiver than Penn State has. And you get a guy like Jaden Greathouse who goes for 105 yards and the big play that was there that Penn State just couldn't find. If I told you coming into this game that Penn State's tight end room would have to carry them. Now, I didn't think it would mean no wide receivers would catch a pass for Penn State. So to put it very bluntly, Penn State's lack of ability to recruit elite wide receivers is a failure from the top down. And it is a disservice to their 5-star quarterback, because it's hard to win games and hard to win championships when you don't have any separation. And on that interception that Drew Aller threw that lost the game, you watch those routes, and not one receiver had even an inch of separation anywhere, and it puts him in a really bad spot. Really, I think it comes down to a systemic issue for Penn State at the wide receiver and passing game position, more so than it is just on Drew Aller.